It all started on a night that seemed like any other. I was sitting in my living room, scrolling through my phone, when out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a faint light flickering from the window across the street. It was Evelyn's house. I lived just 2 doors down from her, a quiet, elderly woman who kept to herself, but that night, something was different. At exactly 2:13 a.m., I saw her, standing at the window upstairs, staring straight at me. Her pale face was illuminated by the faint glow of the street lamp outside, her dark eyes wide and unblinking. She didn't move a muscle, just stood there, smiling that unsettling smile of hers. I blinked and looked away, telling myself it was probably just a trick of the light. But when I looked back, she was still there. For the next few nights, it happened. Again, at the exact same time, she'd appear at that window, watching. I tried to convince myself it was some kind of sleep deprivation or stress playing games on my mind. But the feeling in my gut told me something was off. One afternoon, I asked my neighbor down the street if they'd seen Evelyn lately. No, haven't seen her in weeks, they said. That's when it hit. Evelyn hadn't left her house in weeks. No one had seen her. The mail piled up, the grass grew wild, and the porch light remained off during the day. Yet every night without fail, she appeared at the window, watching me. Asterisk at first. I tried to ignore it, but it was nothing more than a coincidence, or my mind playing tricks on me. But then, things started to change. One night, I heard a soft tapping on my bedroom window. I froze and slowly looked toward it. But outside, there was nothing, just the quiet, empty street. The next night, the tapping came again. And again the night after. It wasn't a regular tap, it was deliberate. Slow, like a warning. The atmosphere in my house shifted. The air felt heavy, thick, and cold. My lights flickered even when the power was fine. Shadows seemed to move just at the edge of my vision. I tried to convince myself it was all in my head. But the truth was, I felt like I was being watched, not just from Evelyn's house anymore, but everywhere in my own home. Asterisk, the whispering started softly, at first barely audible. Like a breeze through a cracked window at night. When everything was silent, I'd hear faint murmurs. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was chilling, full of warning, despair, and something else. Menace shadows moved in the corners of my eyes, darting away when I turned to look. One night I swore I saw a dark figure standing just beyond my porch light. I blinked, it vanished. Sleep became impossible. Every creak of the house sounded like footsteps. Every draft felt like a breath on my neck. I wondered if I was losing my mind, but deep down, I knew the truth was far worse. Asterisk, I couldn't stand not knowing anymore. So I started digging into Evelyn's past. Online records, old newspapers, public archives. I devoured everything I could find. It wasn't easy. Evelyn kept to herself, and little was documented about her recent years. But then, I found something strange. Evelyn had a twin sister, Lana, who disappeared decades ago under mysterious circumstances. Rumors spoke of a family curse, a fire that destroyed a mansion years ago, and whispers of dark rituals. The deeper I delved, the more unsettling the story became. It was as if Evelyn was hiding a secret that wanted to stay buried forever. Asterisk, one night, was jolted awake by an unnatural glow. I looked toward Evelyn's window and saw her face pressed against the glass, eyes glowing in eerie, unnatural light. Her hand left a smudge on the pane, like a silent warning. Days later, an old letter arrived in my mailbox. The handwriting was shaky and desperate. It was addressed to Eleanor Evelyn's missing twin. It said, "She's wearing my skin now. Beware the eyes that watch in the night." I couldn't tell if I was losing my mind or if something supernatural was happening. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred, and the hauntings grew stronger, threatening to consume me. Asterisk, then the impossible happened. One evening, my hallway mirror began knocking from the inside. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I approached. it trembling, and saw a cold handprint appear on the glass. It was pressed from the inside. The air turned icy, suffocating. I fled outside, barefoot into the cold night. When I looked back, my own upstairs window glowed with that same eerie light. Evelyn wasn't in her house anymore. She was inside mine. A priest came the next day and warned me, "Mirrors are doors. Yours has been opened." I covered every mirror in the house with thick blankets. But the whispers returned. This time, there were two voices. Asterisk, asterisk, the whispering grew louder, more distinct. Two voices now, overlapping like a twisted conversation. In the dark, I recorded the whispers, hoping for answers. But all I got was static, except for one chilling phrase repeated over and over. "Don't look in her eyes." Desperation pushed me to confront the source. I broke into Evelyn's house, now officially vacant. Inside, the walls were plastered with photos, hundreds of them, strangers, neighbors. And me, photos of me sleeping, eating, even standing in my driveway. She had been watching me long before. I noticed upstairs. Footsteps echoed softly, and the whispers repeated, "You opened the door." Now we're inside. I followed the whispers up the creaking stairs. The hallway was pitch black, except for a faint red glow leaking from beneath a door. I touched the doorknob, burned. I pushed the door open. Inside, Evelyn sat in a rocking chair, back to me, hair long and white like webs. The room was lined with mirrors every wall, every surface angled toward her. A dozen reflections stared back at me, blinking out of sync, then one in the center turned, not Evelyn. It was my own reflection, and it smiled. Asterisk, asterisk, I ran until my legs gave out, collapsing into a corner of the kitchen, chest heaving as if I'd been drowning in air. I closed my eyes and told myself, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." When I opened them again, I wasn't in Evelyn's house anymore. I was back in my own kitchen. Same floor, same clock, same fridge magnet that said "Smile today." But the mirror's still there. I crawled to one and stared at my reflection, pale, exhausted, eyes sunken, but behind me. The background wasn't my kitchen, it was Evelyn's house. Then my reflection waved, not a mimic, but a farewell. It stepped backward out of frame, leaving me staring at an empty kitchen that wasn't mine. A message appeared on the glass, frost drawing letters from the inside. Traded. She's free. You're hers now. I screamed, punched the mirror. It shattered silently into darkness. And in the dark, I heard Evelyn's voice. "You opened the door, Jake. Now we both live here." I spun around. I was no longer alone. Asterisk, asterisk, I slammed my eyes shut, desperate to escape the nightmare. But when I opened them, the darkness remained thick and suffocating. I was trapped between worlds, a shadow caught between reality and something else. And then I saw her at Evelyn, her eyes hollow but filled with something ancient and terrible. "You don't belong here," she whispered, her voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "But now, you do." I tried to speak, but no words came out. I was a prisoner, caught in the reflection of the living dead of my own world. "Don't fight it," she said, stepping closer. "This is your home now." I reached out, but my hands passed through her like smoke. From the void, other faces emerged, the mergers, lost souls, all silent and staring. A cold wave of realization hit me. Evelyn wasn't just a victim, she was trapped. Just like me, and whoever or whatever had taken her was coming for me next. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through my chest. I gasped, falling to my knees. My reflection appeared in the glass behind me, grinning wide with glowing eyes. "Welcome home, Jake," it hissed. Then everything went black. Asterisk, asterisk. When I came to, I was no longer in the house I knew. I was somewhere cold, dark, an endless and nightmare realm suspended between life and death. Evelyn was there, standing beside me, her eyes empty but knowing. "You are trapped here now," she said softly. "Just like me." I looked into the shadows and saw faces, friends, neighbors, strangers all caught in this endless limbo. And then it hit me. My reflection wasn't me, it was a copy. A dark doppelganger wearing my skin. It had taken over my life while I was left a prisoner behind the glass. No one would know the truth. I was lost, and there was no escape. Asterisk? Asterisk? I woke with a start. Drenched in sweat, sunlight poured through the window, making everything seem normal. But when I caught my reflection in the mirror, my blood ran cold. It wasn't me, it was Evelyn. Her pale, ghostly face stared back at me, her hollow eyes piercing. I reached out to touch the glass. But my hand passed through like smoke. I realized then was the ghost, the trapped soul bound behind the mirror, while the thing wearing my face walked free. I don't know how long I've been here. Days. Years. Time doesn't exist in this place. But if you ever see your neighbor staring from their window every night, if they haven't moved in weeks but watch you, don't look too closely. Some reflections aren't just images. They're waiting, watching, and maybe they're already inside. Thank you for listening to this chilling tale. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new horror story. Have you ever had a creepy neighbor experience? Share it in the comments below. Stay safe. And remember, sometimes the scariest things live right next door. You shouldn't have come here, Jake. The woman in the chair rose, and it wasn't Evelyn. It was me. My terrified face. I backed away. The mirrors reflecting endless faces. Hers, mine. And something else. The house shifted around me, no doors, no windows, only mirrors. And in every mirror, her face, my face. Something darker. Thanks for watching this terrifying, scary story. Hoped you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment "end" so that we could understand you were with us till the end. If you've ever had a creepy experience, let us know in the comments. Bella, we'd love to hear your stories, as well as please let us know where are you watching from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-chilling tales. Last but not the least, before leaving, please check out the horror story ebook, link in the description. See you in the next one. Till next time, stay safe and stay out of the shadows. Head up.